everyone, Nigel Saunders here. Well, it sure looks like winter outside, but here in the greenhouse, I still have a lot of my tropical trees. Today it's quite warm in the greenhouse here, room temperature, but at night it goes quite low. I know it goes down to about 10 degrees Celsius, which is 50 degrees Fahrenheit, which is getting kind of cool for these tropicals. So I definitely have to find some room in the plant room and downstairs to put all these trees. So I better get to that as my first priority. Yesterday I overturned all my bonsai pots so they're upside down and put a thick tarp on top of them so you can see all the pots are underneath. So that should keep the moisture off them and they should be fine there for the whole winter. We are getting some colder temperatures coming in a few days, so I also have to bring in my less hardy trees. So my black pine, a few others like my rosemary here. I've got to bring those into the greenhouse for that cold weather. And hopefully it's going to warm up again. This is awfully cold for this time of year. We sure got a lot of snowfall. It may not even be easy to identify the trees anymore. They're all covered in snow here. But I'll do my best. I'll try and find all the tender trees. I know my black pine is back here somewhere. Wow, look at the canopy on my Scots pine here. It's kind of naturally made it a cascade with all the weight of the snow on top. I'll have to brush that off. Yeah, my black pine is somewhere in here. I'll have to dig that out. Inside the greenhouse here, it looks like the roof isn't in too bad a shape. I'll just go up here and bounce the snow off it. Lighten the load on the roof here. Having this layer of snow on the trees is really good protection for the trees from the wind and the cold. But I think this is just too much. I'm going to have to knock it all off. It's just too heavy. It's at the point where it'll probably break branches. So I'll do that next. I'll get out the gloves, start dislodging or taking snow off the tops of the trees. My trident maple has to go in. I think I'll put it in the basement for now until I get all the tropicals out of the greenhouse. It'd be too warm for it in there. It's my mulberry, my juniper, that can go in the basement too. Now I probably should get my boxwoods in too. Protect those a bit. I'll put those in the unheated greenhouse. They should be fine in there. There's a look at the boxwoods. So I'll put that in the greenhouse too. The unheated one, the polyhouse. There's a few other trees I want to get in. I want to get my nightshades protected, so I'll put those in the polyhouse too. There's that. Now, what else is here? I've got a willow. My black willow, that should be okay for now. My apple, that should be okay. My wisteria, I'm going to put my wisteria in the polyhouse. I'm going to bring all these royal oaks in, these English oaks, into the polyhouse. And I have my Pyrenean oak and my home oak here. So I'll bring those in too, give them some protection. Okay, get these oaks in. I think that's it for the tender. Oh, I better get the Douglas firs in too. I don't think they like the real cold temperatures. I'll bring in the Douglas fir forest. There we go. These oaks, my royal oaks here, should come in. At least some protection from the wind. The wind will kind of dry out the buds on them. So sometimes it's not the temperature that kills them, but the drying wind kind of freeze dries them. So I'll protect them in the polyhouse. Now, I'm going to put my juniper in the polyhouse too. They can also dry out from the wind if it dries the needles out. Give it a bit of protection. Now let's get this Scots pine, get some weight off it here. Holy. It's sure weighed down with snow. Good thing they're flexible. All right, that looks good. And I'll get it off the Avatar Grove here too. That's a lot of weight on it. That's good. Another Scots pine here. This is my bog forest down here. That's fine. I think everything else on these benches is pretty hardy. Let's check the other ones. I know there's some trees over there. Down here I have my Korean maple and my crimson hawthorn. I better protect those. I'll put those in the polyhouse too. And my ginkgo, that's got to come in. I brought in my juniper too. It was kind of buried in the snow and I don't want it, breaking the branches with the snow load. So I give it a little protection. Yeah, so the polyhouse is kind of filling up with snowy trees in here. So I'll organize it all better. Once I get my tropicals out of the glass greenhouse, I can move these trees into that greenhouse, cool it down a bit, keep it just above freezing if possible, and they should be happy for the winter. I think I have most of my sensitive trees inside, except for one here. I just remembered I better bring my Osage orange forest in. They can't take very much cold. I've got the sprinkler system on in the greenhouse, getting everything watered for tonight. I got a lot of my less hardy trees protected today, moving them into the polyhouse and down into the basement. Over the next few days, I'm going to work on clearing more space in the plant room in the basement for more of my tropical trees, trying to get the glass greenhouse cleared out, and then I can move all my less hardy trees into there. So I'll cool it down, keeping it just above freezing. With all the snow on the trees, I have to admit that it does look quite beautiful outside. I don't know what kind of winter we'll get this year. Usually this November snow disappears and we get kind of another warm spell before the end of the year. But you never know. This could be a long winter this year. I don't know. You can see the amount of snow we've gotten on top of the truck here. It's pretty thick. The matrix here too. It's under a blanket of snow. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. I'm going to start pruning up the tropical trees, reducing those canopies back. That should be a lot of fun. So that's all for today. I'm Nigel Saunders. Thanks for joining me. in the Bonsai Zone.